we're talking now about brain health and specifically what to look out for with symptoms of epilepsy. Here with more is Dr. Thomas Bullock, the Eastside Neuroscience Institute and Epilepsy Program Medical Director at Overlake. Thanks for being here.
Thanks so much for having me, Amity.
So I have to say, let's first talk about what the Eastside Neuroscience Institute is and does.
Yeah, thank you for an opportunity to share this.
Absolutely.
Well, Overlake Hospital and Evergreen Hospital have joined forces, and what we're trying to do is offer comprehensive epilepsy care to Seattle and the East Side.
All within the Neuroscience Institute.
That's right.
So let's talk about seizures, because those are something that happens with someone who has epilepsy. What is the difference between an epileptic and a non-epileptic seizure?
Oh, well, when people have a seizure, usually what we're describing is an abnormal electrical activity in the brain.
Okay.
Our brains are bioelectric computers, and when an area becomes abnormal, it'll often create a brainwave, which will spread around the brain and cause symptoms.
Got it.
When you're having a non-epileptic seizure, you're having those signs and symptoms, but the brainwave activity that I'm recording is actually normal, and it requires different treatment.
Okay. So what causes an epileptic seizure?
Well, we're learning more about that every year. But it seems like a small injury to the brain and a scar resulting in a connection of normal and abnormal tissue is a little bit like a misplugged wire.
Okay.
And it can spark and it can create abnormal signals that can cause this abnormal electrical activity and symptoms.
So I know that a lot of folks, sometimes it can be hard to diagnose epilepsy, can it not?
It can be.
So how do you go about the process of diagnosis and then, of course, treatment?
Oh, well, I think the first part, as we've learned from our patients, is just to listen to them. Yeah. They're all going to have their stories, and they'll be telling us about spells and things that happen. Often, because of the symptoms associated with the seizure, they can't offer that many more details.
Right.
And us working together, asking questions, and then pursuing a lot of medical evaluations to get to the bottom of things, that lets us get treatment.
Okay. And what are the treatments? Is it a medicine, or is there other sorts of treatment, physical therapy? What kind of treatments are available for this?
Well, I mean, at the Eastside Neuroscience Institute, we think that we're probably going to need to take the approaches that our patients are ready for.
Oh, okay.
So if medications are what's going to help you most, let's get started. But there's also dietary therapies, there's psychological training programs, and if you need it, I can offer you surgery or removal of the brain tissue with a laser ablation, or even implanting a small computer that can train that area of the brain to behave a little bit better and hopefully prevent my patient from having seizures at all.
Well, I mean, this must be a complete change of life, like quality of life change. I mean, I have a friend, and I told Dr. Bullock about this, who lost her license. She could no longer drive because her epilepsy was so bad. Yeah. And I remember her in her 20s feeling like, you know, she wasn't taking care of herself, and this is why it was happening. And you told me what? What did you tell me about patients who kind of come in and blame themselves?
Well, I think they're really looking for somebody to listen to them and be told it's not their fault, and that we're ready to help them. And we at the Eastside Neuroscience Institute, I think we're in a position to really help.
I think that's so beautiful. Patients, when they come in and they tell you about some of the symptoms they're having, you know, they say a spell or a seizure. But what does it look like to someone who loves them when they're seeing this happen? I know there's two kinds of seizures, and they can look very different, right?
Yeah. You know, I think having a loved one or witness at your visit with you can really empower the visit. A lot of times, if you've lost consciousness, that person who's seen you and experienced your story, they're the best advocate for you in getting to the bottom of this and helping you. It can be hard for them, and often when we're all sitting together and sharing our stories, I think we're everybody's letting their emotions out for the first time. It can be very cathartic.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you all provide such a safe space for that, which is amazing.
Well, as long as we can let people know that they're welcome and that we're ready to help, I think that's the starting place that'll be best.
So as far as seizures go, some of them, it looks like they're just fainting or passing out, right? Or sometimes they can be very dramatic, right?
Oh, absolutely. I think even spells where you just have a brief hiccup in your consciousness without any observable symptoms, we've found that those patients are actually having epileptic seizures affecting their cognition, their performance, their daily lives, their driving. Yeah, a lot of other factors. So epilepsy is one of those conditions that has a lot of rules. If someone has epilepsy and is having active seizures, like you mentioned, they're not able to drive and other things that we really need in our society.
Yeah.
So finding a way to get those seizures to stop and getting people back on track, that's been a really empowering part of this job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How can people learn more about the Eastside Neuroscience Institute for their care?
Well, please look at all the available resources. We're going to be reaching out into the community and making ourselves available. But also talk to your friends with epilepsy and their experience. We plan on making a major imprint in this area and really gathering traction to help more and more people every minute.
Well, thank you for all you do and for helping everyone's best friends and mothers and children and brothers and aunts and uncles. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, and if you want to learn more about what we discussed today, please visit the website on your screen, eastsiderneuroinstitute.org/epilepsy.
This portion of New Day Northwest is sponsored by Overlake Medical Center,